Hello, my name is Jo. I'm one of the lecturers here at the Department of Health Sciences at the University of York, and I've developed just a very brief presentation to tell you about a couple of international placements that we have available to our students at the Department of Health Sciences. Now, I'm going to discuss firstly the costs because these are usually the questions that students want to know first. And so I changed the presentation slightly to actually begin with the costs. So if we begin with Nepal, you are responsible for booking your own flights. Average flights to and from Nepal are around £500. Some are slightly cheaper, some are more expensive, but the average is £500. Then once in Nepal, for your airport transfers, and then 4 weeks accommodation, including breakfast and an evening meal, it's £340. So your total for going to Nepal for your placement for 4 weeks is about £840. What's not included in that price is your lunch, which at the hospital canteen, you can usually get lunch for around $1 to $2. And then also your vaccinations and any other trips and activities that you wish to take part in. Those are at your own expense. For Kenya, it's slightly more expensive. Again, the flights tend to be around the same price, that same average of around £500. Then for Kenya, for your 4 weeks accommodation, including your airport transfers and including your meals, it comes to £896. The accommodation and hospital in Kenya is in a rural area, so getting there is logistically a bit more difficult. And because of that, we work into a safari in your return to the airport. So once you finish your 4 week placement, you then get this amazing opportunity to have a 2 night in Lake Naivasha for a safari, and then 3 nights in the Masai Mara on safari. And that's a total of around £1,396, which if you try to just book a safari for 5 nights, I don't think you'd be able to get it for that price alone. Having said that, I would try really hard not to let the price dictate where you go. These opportunities offer completely different experiences. So really think about yourself, your own careers, your own personal development, and what you would like to achieve out of this placement. If we look at Nepal first, this is the Shia Memorial Hospital. It's one of the few hospitals in Nepal that doesn't charge anything for its treatments. So you get patients from all over Nepal coming for all different types of treatments. As you can see, I've listed a range of departments and services it has. Traditionally in Nepal, people used to give birth at home. However, now there's been a real change in the last 10 years, and we're seeing more births in hospitals. So there's a real demand for midwives as well in this hospital. Your accommodation in Nepal is called Banipa Stay. It's very lovely, it's basic, but it has hot water, it has comfortable beds, it's safe, it has a very nice area where you can sit in the evenings and read and relax, and it has free Wi-Fi. The accommodation in Nepal is an hour outside of Kathmandu, which is where you fly into, and from the accommodation, it's a 5-minute walk to the hospital. And on your first day, the owner of the accommodation walks with you to the hospital and introduces you to the CEO of the hospital, who is American. So he has fluent English, as do a number of the doctors and nurses there. And then you begin your placement in Nepal. In Kenya, we have the Acorn Hospital. Similar to the one in Nepal, it doesn't charge for its treatments. And it's one of the few hospitals in a very large area, so you get a large amount of people coming for all different sorts of treatments. This hospital is a 6-hour drive from Nairobi, so the thought of driving for 6 hours to get to the hospital may sound a bit daunting. However, it's an amazing experience, as the drive itself takes you in a 4x4, so it's your private vehicle with your group, through the Rift Valley, which is a national park. And so you get to see all sorts of different things, some wildlife in different villages as you have this amazing journey to the hospital. These are some of your neighbours, some of the families surrounding the hospital, just to give you a bit of an idea as to how rural it is. Also in Kenya, there's very different style opportunities. In Nepal, you're very much based in the hospital. In Kenya, in the past, a group of students organised a health drive day. The hospital is attached to a school, and so they decided that they would offer all 100 pupils in the school a health checkup on a particular day. On the morning that they arrived and began setting up, they were faced with a line long of 600 people because the children had brought all their relatives, their families, their community members, and everybody wanted to have a health checkup. The students said that experience was phenomenal. They learnt, they worked hard, they had the best day ever, and they said they came away with lifelong memories and it's really changed them forever. Another student who was particularly interested in the cleaning of ulcers and lacerations and wounds and how poorly this was done, she organised a day to show anybody and everybody that wanted to come along how you should clean and look after ulcers and lacerations. That student later went on to win an OBE or be awarded an OBE through her continued work in that field. So it kind of gives you some of the ideas as to the opportunities that are available to you and how you can really shape these experiences to be your own. And then, of course, with Kenya, you get to finish with a safari, which is an amazing opportunity in itself. If you have any questions about this or you think you would like to embark on one of these placements, then please do get in touch with me. My email is jo.rose@york.ac.uk. If you do decide to go on either of these placements, then I will actually nearer the time run a cultural orientation session with you, just to make sure that you're fully prepared and aware of everything before you go out there so that you can really have the best experience possible. I look forward to hearing from you.